Hi everyone, we are making a scrapbook envelope page. I'm taking a 12 by 12 sheet of paper and I'm going all the way to the edge of the We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board. And then I punch down. What I do is I flip my paper over and that's going to give an accurate punch to where they match up on either side. So I'll punch it on the right side and then flip it over and punch it where you see the white. And I do that on both sides and it matches up perfect. And then after you punch it, you want to go ahead and score it. It's easier to score on the short pieces just because it's you can see where you're scoring and you can see from one end of the other. On the longer sides, it kind of runs off as you're scoring it, so you can't really see. But what I am doing is whenever I'm scoring the longer sides, I'll go on out as far as, it'll let me go on the board. And then I'll just kind of move it up a little bit and just try to match up that line. Our score, I'll just try to match it up where the rest of it is. And that seemed to work out good for me. So this project that I'm doing, it's actually for a swap in the Boho Daydreams Facebook group. Each month, and I guess for the whole year, you can choose to sign up to make an album page, and you get set up with a partner or assigned to a partner and y'all swap. I did it for the month of January, but I got in such a hurry that I didn't take pictures or do a video or anything. So I was like, oh man. So I definitely wanted to do it the next go around. And this was actually March's swap, but I was having problems with my phone, and then we had went out of town. So I kind of got a late start on it, and it's a little bit delayed, but I've kept tabs with my partner, letting her know what's going on, because I don't like to leave people hanging, and she's been very, very patient. She lives in England, so she's going to be very patient until this can get to her. But what I'm doing now is I'm taking this page. This was a beautiful sheet of paper that Annalisa sent me from Italy. We did a swap, I think in December it was. And so she sent me a ton of goodies, which I have on another video on my channel. And so I wanted to use this page. So I'm basically just going to line the inside of the envelope with this. It's a beautiful paper, and I think it will go really well with the paper I'm making the envelope out of. And so I know my envelope is basically 9 inches wide and almost 7 inches tall. I think it's more like 6 7/8 by the time that you fold your corners in and all of that. It's not quite 7. I think it's like 6 7/8. And so I'm just kind of measuring it, to make sure we get a good fit. And I'm just kind of looking to see, okay, which is the top here, because as much as I love this brown piece of paper, it is kind of confusing to know, okay, which is the right side on this. And I'm just taking some glue. This is some glue that we started putting in the scrapbook kits for the month of March, and I absolutely love this glue. We created this glue, and I've actually been making this glue for, I guess, about a year now. But I've been putting Aleene's tacky glue in the subscription kits, and then all of a sudden my supplier could not get me any more Aleene's tacky glue, and I'm like, okay, well, I always send out Aleene's tacky glue. Where's Aleene's tacky glue at? So I thought, well, you know, I've been making my own glue. It's been working great, and y'all have seen it in the tutorials that I make, that I use it on everything. You know, I even use it on mixed media stuff. I mean, it even holds down metal, so it's some good stuff. So I thought, well, I'll just start sending this out to the customers, and so far, you know, everyone seems to like it, so it's some really good stuff. And what I'm doing here, I'm cutting a page, and I'm just kind of using some scrap pages. That's what's so fun about these projects. You can just use scrap pieces of paper pretty much. So I cut the page to 9 inches because I'm going to run a pocket over. This is going to be my pocket over the piece that we just cut and glued. And you can see I'm really having to put some muscle into into doing the punch on that, because man, it's kind of hard. And it's harder when you're sitting down. For me it is. I gotta really stand up and get my weight on it. So the pocket ended up, or well, the way that I cut it, it was going to be too tall. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my you know, my bone folder, and I just made a little notch where I want to cut it, but I'm going to score it because that's where my fold line is going to be. When I make my pockets, I like to have a little fold line. So I score it and then cut it a 1/4 inch below or past the score line, and I'm going to fold that. At first I was going to go with the music sheet side, and then when I turned it over and put it up, I like that pink. I mean, it's really a nice color. It really complements the background on the inside of the envelope, so I really like it a lot. And so I'm just, you know, taking the bone folder, just pressing that down, and then I'm going to take some more of our glue and glue it down. Now, if you're using score tape, I mean, you can just run it along the bottom and you're good to go. Using a wet glue, it takes a little minute, you know, a little bit for the glue to set. So I'm just kind of being slow with it, wanting to make sure it sets. And then, of course, I like to get out any, you know, little bit that oozes out along the sides, because, you know, I like my projects to be neat. I don't want them being all messy. And I'm just kind of pressing it down. And then I'm just going to run some glue along the sides as well. I really like having this tip. It really works well because it gets out just a little bit, you know, and it's not like a big old glob and you got to spread it out with a knife or a, you know, a credit card or something. It just a little bit comes out. So I really like that a lot. Both me and my partner for this project, we both like kind of vintage style and the same color palette. So it is nice to swap with someone that has similar interests, because you feel like whatever you're going to make, they're going to like, because you both have the same interest. So what I want to do, I bought this stamp on clearance at Hobby Lobby. Got it for a super great deal. I think it was like $3.50 for this, and they normally sell for, well, I want to say maybe $10 or $15. This is a 6x6 inch stamp, I believe. I want to say Stampendous is the brand on it. And so I use some of my chalk ink and put it on the area that I wanted to stamp. And then I've got some gold embossing powder. I haven't done embossing in like forever. And I thought, you know, that would really add a nice touch so that the pink pocket is not so plain. You don't want to just, you know, kind of spice it up a little bit. And then I always, you know, just kind of tap the extra off. And then just in case any got inside the pocket, you know. So now I'm going to go at it for the other side. I'm just kind of figuring out, okay, what do I want on the other side of this pocket? And then I'm just going to take some more of the chalk ink. I love chalk ink. I absolutely love it. It's easy to work with in your stamping. And now it does take a little longer to dry, but that's why it's so perfect for like if you're going to emboss with it, because the ink stays wet long enough for you to grab your embossing powder, sprinkle it on. So I really like it a lot. And I'm just kind of moving it around to make sure it covers the whole area here. I just thought doing the embossing that would just add a nice touch to the project, you know. I actually got her envelope, or not envelope, her album page that she made me in the mail today. And it's beautiful, and I'm going to show that in another video. But I thought, you know, I really got to make her something nice. And so I was just trying to come up with something like, what do I make? You know, I want to do, you know, I won't, you know, since she's had to wait so long, because technically I should have got this in the mail probably 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, I mean, I think the due date was April 1st, so I'm not too far behind. It's only April 2nd. Of course, by the time this video gets uploaded, it'll probably be April 3rd, but, you know, still, I feel bad because she got right on her project, and I wasn't able to because I was having some phone issues, and then we had went out of town for spring break, and then we get back and it's like bam, 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 just everything hits you at once. So she's been very patient, and when she gets this, I want her to be like, oh my God, this is just worth the wait. And so I'm really just wanting to put some special touches on this for her because she's been very sweet and very patient with me. And I'm just kind of putting together some goodies that's going to go inside the pocket here. And then, you know, I want to make sure that every bit of this envelope is lovely and embellished. And so I am taking my ink and, just kind of blending it along the edges there. And then I want to do some more stamping on the flaps of the envelope. So, and I'm going to do it in different colors. I like to stamp in different colors. When you do that, it adds layers. And especially if you have it to where some colors are darker and some colors are lighter. And it just really adds to the layering effect. I mean, you can really make some nice stuff just by, stamping in maybe 2 or 3 different colors. And, it's just really neat. It's a really neat effect that I like to do. And so this is some, well, I call it apricot. I can't remember if that's the actual color or not, but it's very beautiful. Tim Holtz Distress Oxide, just to add a little pop of color. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. The stamping will be a little bit different, but it'll be the same technique of what I'm going to do on the other side. So my battery had gotten low on my phone, so I had to charge it. So we missed a little bit of the part. I finished stamping the one flap, and then I started working on the bottom flap. And so my battery was charged enough where I could keep on going. So that's what I'm doing now. And now I'm just going to go ahead and start putting everything in the pocket. And, you know, I want to make sure she has plenty of tags, lots of, you know, space for journaling and pictures or whatever she's going to be storing. So I like the envelope like it is, but again, I want to really have that wow factor for her. I hope that the way that I create this will do that. And so the smaller little tags that I cut out, and this paper collection is absolutely beautiful. It's a DCWV, something about Paris, I think, and I absolutely love it. The colors, the style, and I hope that she likes it too. So I'm just kind of taking little bits and pieces of different things. I keep a drawer of all my little tidbits, little leftover pieces of this and that. And those work perfect for projects like this where you need just a little bit of fabric or just a little piece of a leftover doily, or, you know, a little, you know, some little fibers or little pieces of paper here and there. It works great for projects like this, especially when you're doing little miniature stuff, because I just want to, you know, add a small little tuck spot here. And then on the other side, I'll add one too. And so that just works out great for projects like this, just to use up. I mean, I don't save everything because it takes me a while to get around to using it. And, you know, I don't know. I always have this fear of, like, if I keep a bunch of paper, that like bugs and stuff are going to get into it, and it just grosses me out. so I keep like maybe 2 drawers full of, you know, paper and flowers and fabric, you know, little bits of fabric, and then that's it. And if I don't use it after a certain amount of time, you know, I just start throwing away some stuff. I don't want to be a hoarder or anything, you know. So I had a little doily trim, and I think it might have been just a little leftover piece of a punch that I did. I have a few of the Martha Stewart punches. One's the like little scalloped edges, and so I think that was the leftover piece of that, which came, you know, in handy for this project. And then I just want to you know, add some more layers. So what I'm going to do here is, I did add the tuck spot on the little card with the little pink flowers on it. So I want to add another tuck spot on top of that one. So it's kind of like we've got a little double tuck spot going on. And I think she'll really like it. I think it'll be really cute. And so I'm just really excited. You know, sometimes you just get involved in a project and you just become, you know, immersed in it. You're just like, oh wow, this is fun. I'm really enjoying this. And I really did enjoy this project a lot. I stay so busy with the business side of, you know, the subscription box business. So it's nice to stop and create. Because that's what keeps those creative juices flowing, is to keep creating, keep making things, because when you stop, you know, there's no creative outlet. There's no outlet for the thoughts that you have in your head, and you can't see them coming to life because you're not doing anything with it. And so it's important to, you know, keep your mojo, keep creating something, even if you're just sitting there staring at a blank piece of paper for a while. Maybe just start doodling something, just start doing something, and eventually, you know, you'll kind of get back in the groove and get it going on. So, and this was, I purchased seam binding and the alteration tags and the receipts. I purchased those from waywack.com. I love that place. And they send the really neatest cards, and it just looks so old-timey. It's a picture of the owner when the business was started back in the early 1900s. So I wanted to send that to her because I get a bunch of these, and I thought, well, hey, I'll glue a book page down and just kind of make a pocket. So hopefully that's something that she'll like. I'm just kind of, making this stuff up as I go. In fact, I did not even watch a tutorial for this project. I just thought, I want to make something and I want it to open up, to her and like show her what she's getting and just be like, oh, wow. So I thought, well, hey, I'm going to make an envelope and have it open up. And then I was like, I wonder if there's something like this that's been made before. And I mean, the closest thing that I could find is a scrapbook envelope page. I did see a tutorial on YouTube, and I'm like, hey, that kind of looks like what I'm doing. Of course, I'm leaving my envelope open. I'm not gluing it together. And I think in most of the tutorials, they are gluing them together. But this is another way that you could do it, and it's really neat. So I hope that you have enjoyed watching this tutorial. I had so much fun making this. And feel free to let me know if you have any questions at all. Thanks so much.